what's up guys, it's your boy Kurt, coach of the Brisbane Buzzwell, bringing you UNPL Season 2, Week 1 against SkyRetro, new person to the league. So quickly go over the team. I've got Anemoris, I've got Landorus, I've got Skeleturge, I've got Zarude, I've got the Uxie, and I've got the Hisuian Arcanine. Scarf Landorus, because Scarf Landorus versus this team was really nice. I'm gonna set up Zarude because my game plan was to try and win with a Swords Dance Trailblaze Zarude, just a defense, your normal defensive Skeleturge, defensive Arcanine, just a Life Orb offensive Anemoris, and then a Rocks Yorn Uxie. So we'll lead off with Landorus here. I opted to hard switch instead of U-turning with the Scarf Landorus because I was just worried that he would be Rocky Helmet on Slowbro, and I needed all the health I could get, honestly. So we're just gonna go into Uxie here to start things off. These guys for a raw Hydro Pump, which does about 25%. I was a more Spadef Uxie this week, so it did really nicely actually. Uxie was really nice here. And then we got, so I think this one I just rocks here. I go for Yawn, sorry. I go for Yawn. I'm thinking, do I get rocks up? Doing damage calc, seeing if he's offensive. I was seeing if he was offensive here. So my big plan was to Yawn because I thought he would switch, and I wanted to catch the potential pivot into, say, the opposing Blaze Breed Tauros, which he doesn't. He reveals he's Sunny Day Slowbro, which is interesting with the Sandy Shocks, because that works really nice. Gives him the Photosynthesis boost. And then I'm going to go for Mystical Power here against the Slowbro, because again, I feel like he's going to switch. He can't touch me here. He's weakened his Hydro Pump. So I go for Mystical Power. I was predicting the Tauros to come in, actually, because it was his one of his best answers to it, and he wasn't going to go into Meowscarada, because he couldn't risk the potential Dazzling Gleam. As we do a good chunk with uninvested Uxie. Getting the special attack boost for Mystical Power. Such a broken move on this Pokemon now. Which this Pokemon, if he pulled the trigger on this Tauros, I think it would have got another kill at least. Because he had Endure Endeavor, which would have put me at 1 HP, roughly 18 HP or something with leftovers recovery. Which would have been scary. But he just goes for the Raw Endeavor here, and it takes me down a good chunk. So that does a lot of damage. We got another Spatak boost. I'm down into 50 HP. This is basically just here for to click rocks now. At this point, it's practically dead. Otherwise, it can't really switch in on anything. The Discord sound is me just screen sharing the game to my friends so that they can watch. So ignore that. I'll have to work that out because I think that'll be in my week 2 game as well. So he sends out the Meowscarada, and I'm not sure what to go into. So I thought about going Zarude, but I was scared of a potential U-turn to get the kill. So I'm just gonna go into Arcanine. I'm Fizdef, well, mostly Fizdef Arcanine with a bit of Spadef. With the Intimidate, meaning that his knockoff isn't going to do a whole lot of damage, and if he goes to Flower Trick after, I should still be able to live one hit from this thing and kill it with the Flamethrower, or potentially burn it later. I would go for the burn, sorry, because I was scared he might go Chomp here, but it also covered the Slowbro to get residual chip every time it switches in, getting the burn chip. Not going to negate his regenerator, but it does get rid of, it does make him take a little bit of chip. I burn! Which could matter for potential KOs. So I'm not sure I'm pretty sure he's going to Hydro Pump here. So I opt to go into the Zarude because I'm not too scared of this thing otherwise. Because I'm thinking this Sunny Day slack off with maybe Ice Beam to hit the Anemoris as well as the Landorus. That was my thought process here. That's why I went Zarude, because I know I can take an Ice Beam from this thing. He was Fizdef or defensive as we based on the calcs. So I'm just going to click Swords Dance here. as he pivots out. And he goes into Meowscarada. So here I think I get a bit greedy. I probably could have gone for something else other than the Swords Dance there, predicting the pivot. So I know I don't live a U-turn, so I'm gonna go for the Terrastallize and click Trailblaze, which I think I Terra'd too early this game. If I had to save Terra for late game, it would have been a completely different story. The end game would have completely changed. But you live and you learn. Things you gotta learn as you play along. So we go for the Terra as he reveals U-turn. Doing a decent chunk to Zarude, which is honestly terrifying. It's a lot of damage. As he's actually going to bring out the Garchomp here. The Garchomp is a terrifying Pokemon. Thankfully my Zarude is +2 in attack, so that shouldn't be much of a problem. I should be able to kill this thing, even if he is max HP, I should be able to kill a max HP Chomp. Especially after the Trailblaze chip. The Terra Dark Crunch, as he is rough skin. We take the Future Sight, so yeah, he also revealed Future Sight, so that was another reason I wasn't too scared of going into Zarude here. Against the Slowbro. So I'm just going to go for the Crunch. It guarantees the kill with Terra Dark at +2 as well as Adamant. So we get the kill on the Garchomp, and that is the first death of the game, is getting the kill on that Garchomp. So Zarude picking up 1 at least, so it didn't do too badly. It was really well played. He's gonna go back into Meowscarada. So here I was thinking I'm faster than this thing if he's not scarfed. You can see me checking just to see if there's any information I can get. There's nothing I could see off that. So I just go for another Crunch, but he does reveal he is the Scarf Meowscarada, so that's going to be a problem later. I don't have anything that outspeeds Scarf Meowscarada at all. All my Pokemon are slower than this thing. So he turns back out. I forget what he goes into here, but the U-turn, that's a problem. It means that my Zarude didn't get to do as much work as I wanted. But I couldn't risk the Trailblaze not killing the Garchomp, so I had to go for the Crunch. If I had the +2 speed, I could have outsped. Oh my god, we're burning alive! So he goes back into Slowbro, and I decide that my best play here is I go into Skeledirge. I know I'm weak to its stab, but I didn't think he would click Hydro Pump or stay in as I'm a Skeledirge. So I just go for the Torch Song here. Predicting the potential Meowscarada pivot on the Shadow Ball, but he just stays in and just clicks Hydro Pump. Help me! Help me! Such a strong move, and Slowbro has a respectable special attack stat even without being invested. So that's annoying. We took a lot of damage for no reason. As I'm just going to click Shadow Ball this turn at +1. It does a good chunk to almost anything. I was very close to clicking Torch Song here again and just going for the +2 and saying screw it. As he goes into Meowscarada after I reveal Torch Song. So I go for the Shadow Ball. Doing about half with a resisted hit uninvested at +1 is not bad. So it shows me he's got a little bit of bulk on Meowscarada. It's a little bit bulky. So he's just going to probably go for the knockoff again. It's the only move that makes sense for the kill. I go back into Arcanine. I get the Intimidate. I now have no items, so knockoff does even less damage than it did the first time. Which puts me down at about 56% or something like that. From memory. I can't remember the exact calc. So I'm just going to click Power Gem. I was worried that he'd go back into Slowbro because I wanted to click Flamethrower there. I had the feeling he'd go back into Slowbro, as he does indeed go back into Slowbro on my Power Gem. Doing only about 25% of the Slowbro, so not doing anything at all really. So my only play here is to go into Uxie. It's my only switch into this thing. I need Arcanine for late game. So I just go into Uxie. This is where I realized that I don't have rocks up. I thought I had rocks up this entire time. Forgetting that I set up rocks. I didn't set up rocks, I went for the yawn instead. As the Hydro Pump doesn't kill me, we're just hanging on with 12 HP. Whatever he goes for next will kill me. That's a given. But we've taken him out of the health that regen will put him back at full. So we're just going to get the rocks back up. Oh, rocks up now. So Meowscarada, all of its pivoting around will start to take the chip on it. As he goes for the Fire Blast. Doing a decent chunk to Uxie. Managing to get the knockout. I'm surprised he bring 2 inaccurate moves when it gets both Flamethrower and Surf, but you know, if that's what he chooses. So we're going to go into an Emerus. He does not have a reliable switch into this Pokemon. Anything that wants to switch into this will die in 2 hits. So I'm just going to go for the Moonblast because there's no reason for him to keep Slowbro around now. It doesn't check anything I have left other than maybe Landorus, but it doesn't switch in safely. So we get a good chunk with Moonblast. As he goes into Sandy Shocks, this thing was potentially Terra Ice. That was one thing I was constantly checking, was his different Terra typings. So here I'm going through looking at his Terras, because any Pokemon can Terra, as seen by the Terra Darking on the Zarude, but this is also a Terra Fire and Emerus that I didn't get to take advantage of, which might have helped here if I didn't Terra the Zarude earlier. But again, you live and you learn. So yeah, I'm really worried about him being Terra Ice here. So I'm tempted to Earth Power. I almost click it. I look through things, but again, I opt to go for the Mystical Fire because I feel like he was going to Terra Ice there. Terra Ice would have made the most sense to me anyway. As we click Mystical Fire and he goes for the Thunderbolt, doing a really big chunk of damage. Putting me in whatever I click now, I'm going to die anyway. So I just opt to go for the Moonblast, as it's a safe middle ground play. As he does end up switching, so I'm glad I didn't go for the Earth Power here. He goes into the Gardevoir on my Moonblast, which is going to do a decent chunk, but he does reveal he is a relatively bulky Gardevoir, because I should have done a lot more damage to a no bulk Gardevoir. As I go into Landorus here, I'm not sure why I didn't just click the button with Landorus. Because I could have just Earth Powered for free. But we're going to go into Landorus here. I was running calcs this entire time on how much damage I'm going to do to this Gardevoir. I didn't know what its set was. All I know is it switched in and died. And I died to my Life Orb. So now I'm hovering over Earth Power because I'm doing calcs. Based on the Moonblast damage, I don't think my Earth Power kills, and I don't think I don't realize that he's a bulky Gardevoir here. So I'm going back and forth between. I was tempted to click Stone Edge and try and bait out, but I end up going for the U-turn and not killing. Very barely. So I'm just going to go into Skeledirge here because I can't risk my Arcanine. I know that it's going to be important later because I don't have a switch into Meowscarada at all. So as he goes for the Reflect, a very nice bring on Gardevoir. Indeed, he gets the Reflect off. And so I'm just going to go for the Slack off here. I just need HP. He reveals Future Sight, so he brought Future Sight on 2 Pokemon against my team, which is interesting considering I have Uxie and Zarude on the same team, but not bad brings in general. So I'm going to Slack off, go back up in HP to 185, and here I'm just going to go for the Torch Song. I lose nothing by clicking Torch Song as he clicks Draining Kiss, putting me down to roughly where I was at before leftovers. So we just Torch Song here, pick up the kill on Gardevoir. So we're tied at 2, no, we're up 3-2 here, sorry. We're up 3-2. Skeledirge is relatively healthy. Not full HP, which sucks. I would have liked to have been at full. So while we wait for Retro here, just looking, I'm just thinking while he's there, I'm doing calcs on if I can live a hit from Sandy Shocks, and I'm not sure I can here. So I just go into Landorus because I know he's got the Future Sight up. I take the Future Sight hit this turn anyway. So I would rather take it on Landorus, since I know I live that at least on Landorus. And he was probably going to go for the Earth Power, so it was a pretty safe play. So he goes for the Future Sight. I just live. Here I was very close to Earth Powering, but again I was worried he was going to Terra Ice. I didn't want to take the Terra Ice because I didn't kill with Earth Power if he Terra'd. So I just U-turn, don't do a whole lot. As I just go back out into Skeledirge, not knowing what he's going to click here. I'm very confused as to what he's clicking, as he didn't Terra, so I was thinking he might not be Terra, but he is Terra Blast. He does click Terra Blast. Again, not sure why he didn't Terra the last turn, but he didn't. So we're just going to stay in and click Torch Song, because I over-predicted here and predicted him to go for the Terra Ice on the Landorus switch-in that I did last time. He does not. He clicks Earth Power and we only just live. I'm pretty sure it was a very low roll in my favor to live. We do end up hitting that roll, which again I don't think mattered long run, because I just go into Landorus next turn, click Earth Power, and Revenge Kill anyway. So I was happy with Skeledirge dying there, if it meant I could, if I could secure the kill. I didn't want to play around, mess with things, I didn't want to take any risks. So I'm just going to stay in and click Torch Song again, because I have the feeling he's going to click Flower Trick or something, as he brings out Terra Grass on the Meowscarada. Which this made a lot of things different, because I was not ready for him to be Terra Grass Meowscarada. I knew that Arcanine could live 3 minutes left to the end of the battle, because we didn't get to set up the comp in time. So that's why my recording was a little slow at the start, as to why it was already on the Pokemon Select. So I just go into Landorus here, because at this point I honestly thought that there wasn't much I could do. So I go into Landorus and I just basically pray for a Hail Mary that he isn't creeping my Landorus, or that he doesn't have enough speed for it. So I click U-turn, but he does have the speed on the Meowscarada for my Landorus, which is fair. I was kind of just hoping that he didn't have the speed. It was a fingers crossed kind of moment. So then the Reflect wears off and I bring in Arcanine. After doing the calc, I sit here for a minute, I'm thinking, I'm looking over it, looking at this Meowscarada. I think that's why I sacked Landorus, sorry, I was doing the calcs on whether Arcanine could even live this. So then he clicks Flower Trick, and with 6 HP, Arcanine lives and clicks Flamethrower to get the final kill of the game. So we kill the Meowscarada and we win in a 1-0 victory at 6 HP. Probably one of my closest battles I've had in a long time. So absolutely GG to Retro. He played amazingly for his first ever Draft League. He's new to Draft League. He did really, really well. And again, GG's to him. And I will see you guys when we go to week 2.